Hello everybody, lovely to be back. It's Carol here at Oak House Journals and I'm going to do week 34 of Lisbeth Degn's Stitch Circle Show Challenge for 2025. So the rules for this week are to use a light coloured background fabric and to trace an outline circle onto the fabric. So here I'm showing you the piece of fabric that I'm going to use. It's just a piece of the usual vintage white linen fabric, and I've got a brown plastic lid. I think it was off some Bisto to act as a template for drawing my circle, and as usual I've got a Friction marker pen. I'm showing you here that my usual pot, which is the Sweet Poppy dimensional paste tub, is a lot smaller than the circle that I'm going to draw this week. Obviously this is what the outline ring looks like once it's been traced onto that light coloured fabric. So moving on to the second rule for this week, it is to cut a ring in some black fabric, and the ring has to be smaller in size than the outline circle that I've just traced there onto the white background fabric. So I decided to break away from the rules slightly here in that I'm not using black fabric, I'm using brown fabric, as you can see, and I use the usual poppy paste pot and my Friction marker pen to cut out this circle here. And here I'm just showing you a variety of pots and tubs that I use to help me create my ring. And this is what my ring looks like now it's cut out of the fabric, and as you can see it's smaller in size than the ring that I traced on the background fabric. The other part of rule 2 was to use the inner circle from the ring and to trim it down so that we could use it, and here you can see I've placed it inside my ring onto my background fabric so that it's all in place. And this is what it looks like all ready to stitch. There is an option this week to stitch that outline circle trace onto the backing fabric, so that's what I've done here, and I'm just showing you a close-up. I did split back stitch for my outline circle, and again going back I've put my rings in place and I've adhered them to my fabric this time with some Bonder web. The third rule is the stitch we're stitching with this week, or stitching in this week, and it is a knotted fly stitch, which effectively is just a fly stitch with a French knot at the end of it. So here you can see I've gone in and I've made a start stitching the outside circumference of my ring, and I've also drawn in a few pencil guidelines with the Friction marker pen to help me. In this photo I'm showing you that once I've done my outer edge of the ring, I decided that I would neaten that edge with some split back stitch, and this is what it looks like stitched all the way round with the split back stitch. I really like the look of it, so you'll see as we progress that I've gone in and I've stitched all the edges of all the rings and the circles in that split back stitch. What you're seeing here is the center circle. I've also stitched that in the knotted fly stitch, and all my little French knots at the end of each of those fly stitches are in the center there. But because I like the look of it and because I love doing French knots, I added a few extra French knots for good measure, and here you can see I've stitched around the outside again in that split back stitch. So this is a close-up of that inner circle. Here I've gone in and I've started stitching the inside of my ring, and I've just tried to match up where my little French knots will meet, and that's roughly in the center of the ring, as you can see here. And here I've added the split back stitch to that inside edge of the ring. And this is what my finished piece should have looked like. But because I like French knots, I went in and I did a whole lot more all the way around the centre. just to add some dimension to that outside ring. And I have to say, I really love how that looks. Sorry, it's not adhering specifically to the Dogma rules this week by adding the extra French knots to the centre and also to the centre of the ring, but I really like how this looks this week, and I just couldn't resist. So thank you as always, everybody, for watching. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you next week. You're seeing a bit of fluff on the last picture here, so please excuse that. I didn't notice it was there until I uploaded it. So that's all from me this week, everybody. Take care. Bye bye now.